So today I'm going to be talking about lighting, and I know lighting can be really, really difficult for so many people, a massive hurdle to get over when trying to create an aesthetic for your channel. So yeah, I've been listening to you all in the comments, and this has probably been one of the most popular requests. You want to see the breakdown of this particular setup, and I'm going to demystify the whole thing and actually show you how basic this whole thing is. And I have said it in so many different episodes that everything's easy when you know how, and luckily I've been doing this for a while, so it is simple for me, but I've had the opportunity to do this for a long time and light so many different things, different shows, different people, hundreds of interviews, and this is actually the most simple setup that I would go for. Yeah, so there's a lot of ways that you can light a scene like this, and there's a particular reason why I've decided to go for this sort of lighting setup, which I'll get into in this episode as well. And yeah, hopefully it'll be able to demystify it for you, because I know there's so many of you out there that are trying to build a personal brand, trying to grow your YouTube channel, and you just have no idea how to actually get a look that even feels even close to something like this. So we'll go through the basics and I'll break the whole thing down. But before we get into that, I'm going to just take us through the experiment, because yeah, this has been quite a cool experiment that we've been going on. For all the new people that are tuning for the first time, I started a brand new channel in February, and the idea was to grow it really quickly and to actually share everything that I'm doing along the way, so that you can see how I'm growing, and hopefully it'll be able to help you grow in the same way, learning from the mistakes I've been making and for the things that I've been doing that's actually been working. So here's the analytics. This is the 11th video. This is the first season, and the idea was to do 12 episodes in 4 weeks, 3 a week. And yeah, I'll get into the stats. So we've had 34,000 views. We've had 2,100 watch hours. So I'm halfway to being monetized. 1,900 subs, 1,200 returning viewers, which is a very important metric, which I'll get back to in a minute. And 16,700 unique viewers and 560,000 impressions. I'm very stoked with this, you know, considering that I was hoping to maybe get to 1,000 subs within this first season, and to see that I've almost doubled it is amazing. And I'm pretty sure by the end of this video, or by the end of the next two, I will definitely be over 2,000 subs. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. And then these returning views, the reason why I said that this is an important metric is because that's really my core audience. Those are the people that keep coming back for each video. So if that's you, thank you for supporting the channel, and I really appreciate you, because it's you guys that are helping this channel grow. So thanks a lot for that. And I'm not telling you this to boast. I'm telling you this as it's been an exciting experiment to kind of show that what you can actually do. I optimized this channel specifically to do this. I understand how this stuff works pretty well, and this was an experiment to kind of see if it does work and to kind of show you that it works. So I'm not here boasting. I'm just talking about this works, you know, if you do it in this, you know, if you take these kind of steps, which I've been laying out in each one of these videos. So you can check out the whole playlist and go through them all if you want to check it out. Anyway, now that we've gone through that, let's get into the actual episode, which is about the lighting. So there's so many different things that's going on here. And as a cinematographer, there's so many different things that you need to think about when lighting a set, lighting a basic scene like this. And the first thing, which is probably one of the most important things, is the location. So to have the opportunity to do a recce and to actually choose your location is amazing. A lot of the time you don't have the opportunity, you just have to arrive and figure it out. But this is a set that I've been in for the last, you know, since February. I say set, it's just my studio office sort of space. It's the first time I've had my own space, my own studio, since I've started this 20 years ago. So it's super cool to be in my own zone. And yeah, I've never needed one before, because all my pre-production was done at home. Then I go out and shoot, so I can do my post-production from home. But now I've got a couple of kids. It's tricky, you know, it gets tough to work from home. And I never planned on doing this. I never planned on talking to a camera. This was not in the cards for me. Again, like I've spoken about in some of the other videos, I've just seen this as an important part of the growth, as the expansion, as we move into this new digital world. I actually see it as one of the most important things to do. So I needed my own space, so I could actually come in, be consistent, turn on the camera and do this thing. So anyway, let's get into the space. One of the things that you really don't want when you're looking for a space is white walls. And obviously you can see I'm wall to wall with white. So it's not ideal. And I will actually design this more according to my taste later on down the line. But for now, I thought I would just decorate it a bit back there, art direct it, make it kind of feel like it's like kind of got my aesthetic, and then just start, because for me the most important thing was to just start and going, so I can start making this whole thing work. So when lighting, when you're doing a location recce, you got to think about where is your natural light coming from? So right now you can see I've got a window back there that you can see in the frame, and I've got another one over here. They're about 8 foot tall, and at about 3 o'clock I get hard light that comes in through these windows. So I'm actually pushing it a bit here. It's probably about 1:30, and so I've really got to shoot in the morning so I can get this more soft light. So when you look at these windows, when you go into a location, you look at where the light's coming from and you motivate your lighting sources from there. So you'll set up your camera, you figure out your camera placement, which is normally in accordance to where the windows are, unless you've got a big budget and you just want to relight the whole thing. But for this sort of spot, you would look at where the light's coming from. You'll expose the room according to the room tone, so whatever light's coming in. So you'll get your talent or whoever to kind of sit down in the space. You'll frame them up like I've done, and then look at what the light's actually doing. And then you can actually see what you actually need to bring in to just sort of wrap the light or whatever to be able to motivate what's already there. So motivated lighting is key in order to get natural looking light. And natural lighting for me is super important. It's a core part of my philosophy. It's the way I like to do things. There's many different ways that you can light, and there's many different ways I could have lit this. But for me, because this is my space, this is my zone, I wanted to feel close to my own philosophy, my own taste, my own aesthetics, which is very much based on my life philosophy, which is about stripping everything back. Less is more. You know, we don't need to be loud. We don't need things to be like huge. We can tell beautiful stories, real stories, by stripping things back. And this really comes from my love for realism. You know, I think the more stripped back it is, the more real it feels. So this is how I'm approaching my lighting. So we've got the motivated light coming from this side. Now I'm going to talk to you about the actual light that I've got going on in the room. I've only got one light on here. It's a very basic light. It's an aperture 300D, and it's right over here, and it's at 20%. So it's a 300 watt light. I haven't got too much output going. Actually, no, it's at 50%. I changed it. It's at 50%. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on and off so you can see what the light's doing and, you know, what's actually here naturally. Okay, there we go. Right. So the light's off. So now you can actually see what's naturally happening in the room. So this is the first thing that I would look at. I'd set the camera up, see what it's looking like with the motivated light that's hitting this rim. And you see that exposure there? When you bring your light in, you kind of want it to be just under whatever that is to kind of make sure that that's how you get it to feel natural. Okay, so I'm going to turn it back on again. So you can see that so you either want to match it or be slightly under. If you overexpose that and it's brighter than, you know, what the value is of those windows and what that rim light is, it will feel like you've got a light on in the room. It will feel unnatural, and that's not what you want. It will just feel like, you know, you just know. Subconsciously you'll look at it and you'll kind of know. Even if you're not a lighting expert, you might be like, there's something off here. You might not even be able to work out what it is, but it'll be distracting. So you want to try and remove all distractions so that the story, the message can come through. So again, you can just see how this light is wrapping across. So I've got the aperture 300D, I've got a softbox, and I've got two diffusions, which basically come with the softbox, and that just softens the light and spreads it a bit to get this sort of look. So you can see there's not much going on. It's just like a tiny little lick, you know, it's a kiss, you know, just to wrap the light across, give a little bit of light in the eyes, and to kind of remove how intense that mood was. And yeah, so it's pretty basic. That's one light. You could get a cheaper light to do the same thing. And then on this side, I've got a big black cloth. This is called negative fill. So it's a big 6x6 magic cloth. It's an ultra bounce with ultra bounce on the one side, and it's a black on the other side. So I'm basically using this in order to stop the light from hitting the white wall and bouncing back onto my face. So that's how I get this shadow, this darkness. And when we're lighting, we really want to create shape. You know, this is the job of the cinematographer. It's to create shape, to create contrast. And this is how we create moods, this is how we create emotion, and this is how we really help tell the story. So lighting is there to really help tell the story. So if we've got some sort of emotion that we're trying to bring through, lighting is there to kind of really elevate that. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Lighting is just amazing. And I can go so deep into this, I can go so deep into the philosophy. I love talking about this sort of stuff. I'll get into it maybe at a later stage, but for now, I'm just breaking down what we've got going on here. I don't want to bore you too much with the depth of this sort of stuff. You can see back here I've got two practicals. I've got a little lamp and I've got a salt lamp back there as well. Those are just there to kind of create a little bit of ambience, like a warmer sort of touch back there. Without that, you know, it just felt a little bit more moody. And obviously I got that orange thing over there as well, which I'll talk about another day. And it kind of just gives like a nice little color contrast. And that's, you know, I think in terms of lighting, that's pretty much, that's the basics here really. There's a lot more going on that I'm not going to go into here. Like I've got a monitor over here, which I'm looking at in order to see my exposures. I use vector scopes. Vector scopes are there to really dial in the exact exposure that you want, which is more mathematical. And with that, you can really get consistency. If you look at all of my episodes, they've all pretty much got the exact same tone. And it's because I'm able to be able to dial it in to the exact value that I want. And that's more advanced. You kind of get into that later down the line, and we can get into that. It'd be rad to hear from you if that's the kind of thing that you would like to see and hear about. So let me know in the comments. And if there's anything else in particular that you would like to know about in terms of lighting and framing and all that sort of stuff. Because yeah, like this channel is going to be about everything, and most importantly, like I said in all these different videos, it's really about sort of like getting the whole thing dialed in so that you can express yourself, so that you can express your story, so that you can share your values to be able to help other people, and it's beautiful. So yeah, so you're obviously here to do a similar sort of thing. You want to kind of grow your online presence. You want to learn how to set up a setup like this. And for you, it might be different. You know, you might want to light things slightly differently. You might want to add more color. You might want it to be a brighter key light or whatever. And this really comes from knowing yourself and kind of like what that aesthetic is. So I think like a couple of good things that you can think about in order to understand that deeper is like if you had to think about what kind of music represents you, what kind of colors represent you, you know, what's the feeling that represents you? And when I say you, I mean the experience of you. You know, what is it like to be you? And it's amazing when you start to figure out what this is. And this whole thing, you know, building an online presence, being able to do this, for the first time in our life, we have the opportunity to really extract the things that we've learned in our life. You know, we're all unique. We all have this unique path. You know, we have a very short time of being here in the planet. You know, we're like waves moving through, eventually crashing on the shore. And in that time, we discover all these things that are unique to our own path. And if you can learn to extract that and find ways to create a purpose from the lessons that you've learned in your life and share it with other people to be able to help people, it's amazing. It's such an amazing thing. And it's the first time in the whole history of humankind that we've been able to actually do this. And that's what excites me about this stuff. You know, there's so many people out there just delivering so much amazing wisdom that's helping so many people. And that's what this channel's about. I'm extracting everything I know and sharing it, and I'm helping you extract your thing and showing you how to represent and present it and distribute it to your audience. And yeah, if you're into that sort of thing, that's what goes down here. And again, I've got a school community where we go deep with this. It's been amazing. Lots of cool guys in there, lots of cool ladies in there, women. And yeah, it's growing really nicely. So if you want to take it deeper, it's free. I'll leave a link in the description below. This is the 11th episode out of the 12 episodes of this series. The final one's coming up next. I'd love to know from you what you would like to see. I already have an idea of what I want to do, but if you can give me a better idea, drop it in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.